Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing, single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We are also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebartogo.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we talk about what a celebrity could do to get respect for his or her brand. My name is Justine Mays. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guests, Kathy Kuhl, Goeken, Jeff Andreezy, and Tim Swyeth.
Hey gang, what's up?
Hello. What's happening?
Hello. So we're going to be talking today about celebrity bourbon, and there's more and more coming out. There's probably, on average, you see, if you look at the press releases, 1 or 2 a week. And so they're coming out fast and furious, which will be a celebrity brand pretty soon, I'm sure, where we want to talk about what they could do to get our respect.
Fast and Furious 11.
Yes, yeah. So
what could Kentucky bourbon was
right? How could they get beyond that, where it looks like, hey, they are truly in this because they want to be a bourbon brand. They don't want to be something that they just sell, do the KISS thing where it just, let's figure out everything we can sell to our fans. Someone's like, we want to be in the bourbon business. So we'll talk about what's the difference and how they can gain some of that respect from people who are bourbon fans. And our focus audience for this is ourselves, because we are in fact bourbon fans. So we'll talk about what they could do to get our respect. We'll get to that after the break. For right now, Kathy said there's something she want to talk about. What is that, KK?
Yes. Okay. Eating nuts, mixed nuts.
Okay.
We were talking about this the other day. You can only get one for the rest of your life, one type of nut.
Okay, one nut.
Keep it clean.
Keep it clean. Yeah, not that type of nut. Not that
type of nut.
Quiet, not that type of nut.
Keep it clean.
Wouldn't be mixed nuts if there's only one. You have to choose one of the types of nuts that comes in a mixed nuts.
Any sort of nut. Any nut.
Okay.
By the way, and peanuts count, because they'll be the person be like, peanut isn't a nut. It's not a nut. It's a legume. It's not a nut. No, it counts. For these purposes, a peanut counts. So you only get, but that's all you can have. This is for snacking, or, some of them we know in the raw form are quite healthy. Whatever. You can even get in multiple forms. If you choose one, you can be like, well, I like this one because I can get it roasted. I can get it shelled. I can, however you want to do it, but you only get one. That's it. All
right. I can do that.
Okay. All
right.
Who wants to start out?
I'll go.
Okay.
If I have to pick, it's going to be cashews.
Cashews.
Yeah.
I think that's.
And I would prefer them to be whole, if possible. Okay. I can bite them in half if I need to.
You can do whatever you want with the cashews. Then cashew, you can have halves, you can have pieces. Yeah, you can even mix it up. You can do roasted, non-roasted,
salted, unsalted,
highly salted. You get the cashew, you get the cashew.
High in good fat content, though.
Darren recently ranked the nuts. This is how this whole thing gets going. And cashews had fallen out of his top 10. That's bullshit. Cashews are too fucking good. And they're one of the most unique tasting nuts out there, I think. All of them, you can start to feel like, well, this one kind of tastes, it has some taste of this, but it is separate. But cashew's a standalone. There's not another nut that tastes like a cashew. So
no.
Cashew. Yeah, Darren's wrong. So
he's wrong.
It's his opinion, but he's still wrong. Right. Okay.
Yeah,
All
that
right.
was
You
good
only
pick.
get one. Goeken is locked in. Other people can say that, or you can pick something else. Justine, you're next. What would you pick here?
Almonds.
Almonds, not a bad choice. You can have fun with it. Chocolate dipped. You can do flavored. You can do on the health kick. You can just have them in the raw form. You're like, I'm eating healthy these days. Almonds
That's
are
Even
what
milk and almond.
yeah.
I buy almonds every week at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Like that's my
Almonds
Snack.
are great.
snack.
No.
Almonds
My,
are
my
paying too
wife
much.
goes through a lot of those.
yeah.
You got to
like
go to
the-
Costco and get the big almond bag.
I like the
That's the way to do
wasabi.
it.
Yeah. Wasabi.
Smart.
Wasabi almonds, yeah. Ooh, those
Fair
are
enough.
good.
Fair
I haven't
enough.
tried those.
Okay.
Justine, I'm
Drizzy.
sending you the big almond bag from Costco. It'll be delivered here probably in a day,
Okay.
and you'll see.
He's doing
Yes.
it on the app right now as we speak.
He's doing it on the.
The drone will drop it on your front
Yeah.
step.
Before we go on, let's talk a little bit about nuts. A little bit. Just throw some out there because macadamia nuts are fantastic.
Yeah, I was going to go there.
Yeah, pistachios. Ooh,
I'm a
those-
pistachio.
Spanish
Yeah,
nuts.
yeah. Spanish
dig-
nuts.
I dig through the mixed nuts, pulling out those
Pecans.
pistachios.
Pecans are good. Walnuts. There's a lot.
There's a
out
lot.
there. There's a lot. But
Walnuts are
peanuts.
my second favorite.
Okay. All
Say
right.
Anything
almonds are
better
my
though
second.
than shelled peanuts?
Okay.
I need mine in the shell. I need.
So
bust
are you
open.
going to go with peanuts then here? Is
I'm
that
going to go with peanuts because I was going to go with the Spanish nut because it is lower in cholesterol and higher in good fats. I want to go macadamia nut, but way too high in fat content.
Yeah.
But I like working for my nuts, and I'm just going to take it
Hey
someplace.
now.
I
Hey
do
now.
like, but it is a legume, and I do like shelled peanuts.
It counts
the
here.
best I have.
That can be an answer here. If anybody wants to protest it, it's bullshit. It counts as a nut.
They can count. They can send an email into the ABV Network
Right.
email.
We're
and
going to ignore it
let us
because we've
answer.
said it's legal. Okay.
It has
Yes.
nut in the title.
In the
Yes.
name, yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
And it should count. Jeff, what do you think?
Yeah, I love so many different kinds of nuts.
I know it's tough to give up. Yeah.
What I find myself when KK said, digging through the can of mixed nuts, I'm going for the pistachios. I like those, but I don't buy those often.
Right.
But I love them when I have them. If I could only have one nut going forward, it's certainly going to be the peanut. I'm gonna in the shell too. It's got to be something I can crack open.
salted
in the
in the
Get a
shell.
little extra salt.
Yes.
And
Not boiled,
Yeah.
salted in the shell. Would
It
be
is
the
terrible to
preferable
think
way.
about as you're picking one. You got to give up all the other ones because they're good. They're good. Man, I would hate. I think Justine has the right answer. I think
Almond.
the almond because it is flexible like the other ones. I mean, I would hate macadamia missing out on those or cashews. I mean, I do think cashews is some of the best tasting. But I think almonds, it kind of is that sweet spot where it can be snacky, and it can be sweet, it can be savory, it can be, like I said, a great healthy option. I think that's the one I'd have to go with just for the flexibility, even though I don't know it's best by taste or the other factors. It's not. There's no perfect answer here. I don't think. I think that there's downsides to all of them, but I think I get the most out of the almond. So that's what I'm gonna say too.
It's
Kathy?
like
Yeah.
trying to select what's your favorite bourbon. What's your favorite nut?
Exactly. Yeah.
Not the
We've
right
gone
answer.
from one question right back into another one where there's not a right
And
answer.
even when you pick almond as the nut, what flavor? Because there is a whole section in the nut section of different flavors. They have like smoked smoky barbecue almonds. They've got chocolate covered almonds. They are
You
not
get all
covered,
those,
but
though.
Yeah, that's what
dusted.
makes it
Yeah.
so great.
Yeah,
The
exactly,
wasabi.
exactly. That's why I went with the almonds because there's a lot of different options within that. I
Yeah.
think more so than anything. But I hate the stuff I'm missing out on. But that's the one I got to go just because I think of the flexibility. But KK, how about you? What you asked?
You're right. It is tough, and you kind of do want to go to almond because of it is so versatile. But
Right.
the first thing I pick out of those cans is always cashews, and I'm
Okay.
going to stick with cashews.
I can't say you're wrong with that. Yeah.
Okay.
The only thing I could say wrong out of the whole day is when we talk about Darren saying cashews has dropped out of the top 10. That's bullshit. There's no way. There's no nut list where cashew doesn't rank in the top 10.
I can't come up with 10.
Hazelnuts. We didn't talk about hazelnuts.
Well,
Those are good.
his number 3 ranked was the Brazil nut, which is
The
terrible.
filbert.
The filbert, yeah, that's one. They would mention it. But yeah, the Brazil nut's terrible. It's terrible. It's almost lacking of flavor.
Yeah.
It's not good.
It's just a texture.
It's a filler. It's a filler, I think, in the cans. They're like, oh, mixed nuts. We'll throw that in there because you throw it.
Nobody wants
takes
it.
up a lot of the
it's heavy. There's a lot of weight.
Reminds me of coconut.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. He's wrong about that.
Oh,
That's another thing Darren's
completely
wrong about.
wrong.
Yeah.
This is
Just
maybe one of those
add that to his
generational. This could be one of these generational gap issues. Like we make fun of people who enjoy Werther's Originals. Those are my grandparents. The cashew is now this generation's Werther's Original or butterscotch candy in the
Butterscotch
plastic.
disc.
I love Werther's Originals. My grandpa always had them in his My grandpa always had Werther's Originals, and my grandma always had Wintergreen Lifesavers.
Well,
You know why they had candies that took a long time to eat, right?
Why?
It kept you quiet.
Oh,
Yes.
Here.
Yeah, in church.
Go spend
Pocket
30
was
minutes
full Sunday
sucking
morning.
on this disc of butterscotch and shush.
Shush. Okay, that's why they did that. Yeah. All right. On that note, it's time to drink. What is everyone drinking? Let's start this time with KK. KK looks ready to go. We're starting with her.
I am, because I picked this up last night. It is a single barrel of MB Roland's rye whiskey.
I love that rye whiskey. I can't believe it's not gone from the shops.
Signed.
Signed. Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
You had some squeaking, but man, when you got around to the pop was fantastic. Almost unbeatable, I think, but we'll see. Everyone's going to try, but man, I can't imagine being better than that. We'll see. Goken's next.
I have Neely family. This is Becca's first batch.
Okay.
With a non-Neely cork because the cork broke.
Cork broke.
A little salty about that.
Okay, nothing there. Nothing there on the new cork. Okay.
She put a broken cork in your bottle.
Yeah?
You did.
Intentionally.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think
That
so.
was her quiet way of yelling at you.
Yes.
Yes.
It's true.
She yelled at me on Thursday. Stop by. Got yelled at.
Did you? Oh, perfect.
God damn it, Goeken! Get out of here!
Make
All
your
right.
frickin' s'more.
Yeah. Jeff, you're next, buddy.
All right, I'm trying to stick with the show theme, so I'm pulling out a little Heaven's Door, Homesick Blues, Minnesota Weeded.
Okay. No, not enough. Not enough.
Quaint.
Pretty weak. Tim's next.
Yeah, I'm sticking with the theme too. I got a bottle of Big Nose Kate Western whiskey.
Okay.
This is a fresh pop.
He almost said
It's
fresh
silent.
cock.
Tell me-
Fresh cock.
I almost said fresh cock. Tell me that did that not
It's a
come
nice. I got
Not-
a nice fresh cock here.
I had a nice fresh cock here. Cock here, pop, pop, pop. I said pop. This is glorious. Pop here. I'm like, my ears are still ringing.
Oh yes, yeah. It was explosive on your end. It's not enough to knock Kathy off. I've got a Willet Rye here. Let's see what we got here. Haven't opened this one in a while. It's not new. Just haven't opened it in a while. Let's see what we got. Nothing really going on there. Special. No. Justine is last but not least. What do you got there, Justine?
I have Penelope Architect.
Okay, decent, but not enough. We are dealing with a very explosive cork there from Kathy. She clearly has this. So, cheers to KK.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about what can a celebrity brand do to get respect from bourbon fans, not from their fan base. They've got that. I think that's the issue here. We'll talk about what they can do to get our respect. We'll do that in just a few. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Speaking of Executive Bourbon Steward certification, the ABV Barrel Shop in St. Louis, Missouri has developed a unique partnership with the Stave and Thief Society to offer a preparatory class to assist you in getting your Executive Bourbon Steward certification. This prep class costs only $25 and is available to take live or online via Zoom. Graduates of our class receive a coupon code good for 15% off your Executive Bourbon Steward certification held in Louisville, Kentucky. This saves you almost $90. Additionally, you can collaborate with fellow attendees to split travel costs when you go to Louisville. If you're interested in signing up for the class, simply head over to abvbarrelshop.com and check out the classes and events page. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in the spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com. And now, back to the show.
Hello, this is Jeff from Iowa, and you're listening to The Bourbon Daily.
Welcome back. Today on the show, we're talking about what a celebrity with a brand can do to get respect from bourbon fans.
Yes, we are. So, want to throw out just, and this is kind of, putting together a list of things that they could do to be like, yeah, you got to respect here. I'd be willing to try that because, for the most part, sitting down and I talked before that started, J.D. Shelburne has a new one out. It's 92 proof. If I went into Bourbon's Bistro and they're like, hey, we bought this bottle. JD came in. He's from Kentucky. We thought, we better support him. Would you like a pour of his new product? I'd be like, no, number one, I don't really know who that is. And,
do I have to pay for it?
And number two,
Right?
it's a 92 proof thing he slapped his name on. It's not for me. I don't want it. But what could be some of the things they could do to be like, oh, okay, I need to pay attention to this because I think they're doing some things right that make it a true whiskey brand. For the most part, these aren't whiskey brands; they're celebrity brands. They're names. So what are some of the things they could do to gain that sort of respect?
Get involved.
Okay,
Actually know what they're talking about.
Be
Yeah.
involved.
yeah, yep. I think
Also,
that's
I've got a couple. I got some thoughts on this one, Steve. It's no secret that I have had some celebrity brands either on our flagship whiskey thing or ABV Network events we've had in the past. So I think two things for me is if you are the face of the brand, you are out there on all the social media, you're the one telling the story. You sure as hell better be the one doing the blending or the picking.
Mm-hmm.
And that example I would say is Brothers Bond.
Right.
The other one is if you are not the face of the brand, you're out there for some marketing opportunities. You're there, but you don't know for sure. You better hire the best in the business at that time, or who you feel is the best in the business to be doing your blending or your picking. So I would throw 3-Chord in there with what Geraldo's doing it with Ari Sussman, and then I would throw Big Nose Kate in there what Melissa McCarthy and her husband have done behind the scenes. But they hired Mel Heim, who's one of the top blenders that I think nobody heard of for a while, unless you know that blending group, that new crop that came through that Fraley's brought through. What she's doing with that brand, what Mel Heim has been doing with her own career and what she's doing with this brand and the story behind it, they're the ones running it. And the folks that are, I would say the financial backing would be my understanding of it. They're 5 or 6 down the website on the about us of our team, which I think is interesting. They're showcasing the people who are running the business, and they're there to support it where they need to, but they are not the face of the brand. The brand's the face, and the blender's the face of the brand, which I think is very interesting. 2 very different polar opposites of between Brothers Bond versus Big Nose Kate or 3-Chord. But I think those 3 are the examples that I have the most of folks that are involved. They're involved, to your point, Kathy, but they're involved in a way where they know their strengths and they're making their weaknesses non-event by bringing better people around them to do it.
Right. I think that one of the things that they can do is show that they've got something here, as opposed to, you think about most celebrity brands, and we're not talking about the ones that Tim just talked about, because we can just keep going back to that and be like, no, they do this. We're fine. They're doing it right, but we're talking about that's one out of at least a couple hundred celebrity brands at this point. I think most of them, what they do, the formula for a celebrity brand is buy whiskey and drop it down to 80 proof or 85 or 90 and put your name on it and go from there. What if they start following some of and it's just straight bourbon whiskey, which again, I think that's the way to go. But how many celebrity brands are like, oh, I'm doing a finish because I like this, or I'm doing a special release, it's cask strength. You get involved in doing more stuff than just a basic drop of one-time thing of straight bourbon whiskey. That to me says it's not really a brand. It's just a label that's being put out. So
it's a transaction,
right? It's a transaction. Yeah. So
Steve, my thought is that this celebrity needs to be able to tell a compelling story. Why is their name on this? And it goes back to what Kathy said: being full involvement, be involved.
Yeah.
How are you involved? Why do you love whiskey? Why are you doing this?
Right.
And it's not just connect with my fans. That's what I need. I need to just see, and it goes back to what Tim said. It's not just what you're doing today, but how are you going to be involved? Are you going to be at events? Are you actively involved? Or are you just a passive getting your royalties?
Is it just an investment?
Yeah. I make my living off this business, but I respect this business. I want people that are in this thing that respect the business too. I want that to be a thing. I want them to be involved in this. And also, why are they in it? It's not just good enough if it was an investment opportunity for me. That's not good enough. I want someone who cares about it. Hey, I drink bourbon my whole life. I mean, one of the biggest whiskey brands, I'm not going to say which one it is, but one of the biggest brands is a country star who can't drink. He's had a problem with alcohol.
That.
Yeah, he should not have a brand. I don't think. And again, I'm not demeaning that. I'm not saying it's wrong. But if you have a problem where you personally can't drink alcohol, I don't think you should have an alcohol brand. I think that's the wrong message. And this is a big time, one of the big time celebrity brands. I don't think that's right. I want someone who has the brand, who loves it and is enjoying it, and they're doing it because they've had a passion for it, not just because. Again, that sounds to me just like an investment opportunity, a way to cash in and get money from my fans.
Well, and I think if they're really into bourbon, then, and if they're trying to get the bourbon fan, I think it's got to be higher than 100.
Right.
I mean, I'm sorry. It's if you're, to me anyway, and I could be wrong, but if you're really into bourbon, you're not drinking 100 proof.
Right. And I won't mind taking, and again, Brothers Bond will bring that back in. I don't mind taking that approach, being like, hey, this is for our fans who are new to this. Here's our 80 proof. And then we've got for our bourbon fans, the people who are really into it. Here's our 100 proof or our cask strength or something.
Right. They have a line. Other celebrities is one product.
Right. Most celebrity brands are just one SKU. That's it.
Yeah.
But if they have a line, that would help, because again, I don't mind the 80 proof, because right away these are people you have a lot of fans, depending on what your fan base is. You might have, like Brothers Bond had a lot of fans that were young enough where they're just new to bourbon and they're not going to drink a cask strength.
Right.
It's going to blow their ears out. So yeah, I get it, but that's a model of the two. More than one SKU.
I don't have a problem of a sub 100 proof whiskey from a celebrity behind it if there's a basis for it. So, Big Nose Kate, I'm going to use it because I have it right here. It's 90 proof, but the amount of flavor coming out of the blend makes it intriguing that I'm not worried about the proof. I'm worried about the experience. I find the same thing with the 4-grain with Brothers Bond and that 80 proof, or they did something. The blend is what's showcasing. I forgot about the proof on it. I'm really trying to enjoy the whiskey. And I'm like, God, okay, I get it. There's something behind this. Now I want to see it in its cask strength version. If you have it, I'd love to, if I'm getting that much intrigue at a 90 proof or a 80 proof or an 83 proof or whatever. I'd love to try to cast strength at some point in time. When's that coming out? Now I'm interested. And then
Right.
usually that's, well, we don't have that planned, or we don't have that's where I'm like, okay, there's a problem. But there's got to be something behind that sub 100 proof Goeken. You're right on that one. I wanted something with a little more meat to it. I want to taste it more in the raws, more straight from the barrel to get that flavor profile of what it looks like from there. But I get it if they're doing something with it, or I hate to say, I don't want it finished. I want it blended with different whiskeys to form a product. That's what that blender's trying to do, or tell that story. And if it matches up, I'm okay with it, because usually the price points are pretty good, except for some of those that are subpar and they're getting close to $100. Sweetened Sove is an example. I just cannot understand.
Right.
I can't understand.
For
Can't understand
It's total cash in, because there's the same product from who they're sourcing from on the shelf for $50. What's the difference between what they have in their bottle versus what the distiller has for $50? Why is it $200 plus more? I don't think there's an answer to that. But again,
the people that buy it are just going to mix it with Coke.
Right. They're celebrities. Anything else celebrities can do? All right. Well, I have a quick public service announcement for our audience. As we talked about flavorful whiskey at low proof, MB Roland was in town this week, and they're going into the barrel now, in some cases, 102 proof. And if also you've been to the rick houses, they don't have anything higher than 8 feet in the air. So that means this combination of low barrel entry proof and the fact that they don't have it stacked 8 stories high. They're going to probably have a lot of cast strength stuff coming up that'll be sub 100 proof. Some of them go up, some of them go down. How flavorful is that going to be? You're going to get a cast strength at 98 proof or something like that. This is going to be an example where 98 proof has.
That's what I'm talking about.
But I feel like
something different.
That's the same thing with that barrel that Becca just found.
Right. Exactly.
It was what, 98?
Yeah.
99.8.
99.8.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Right.
That's
what happens with that. That's why we always have to watch when we talk proof, that something like but the big guys aren't doing that. So again, the celebrities aren't aligning themselves. Most of them, some of them do align with local brands, but for the most part, they're getting the big guys. And a big heritage brand at 80 proof is different than something like MB Roland might be having at their 98 proof that's going to be coming up and stuff like that. It should be
Steve. Go back to Neely's, and if you listen to Royce's Bourbon show, most recent interview, he blew my mind on this one, because he said a statement on there that I didn't even think about it, where he said, I'm entering at a lower proof because there's some lignans and some compounds in the barrel that aren't soluble, can be broken down at those higher proofs. They get destroyed. So I'm pulling out more flavor from that barrel, and I'm getting more flavorful whiskey because of the lower proof on that into the barrel entry. And I didn't even think about it that way. I was like, holy shit. It's the only thing I was going to say is, what else you can do is you come on shows like the Bourbon Show, the more serious shows, and you have that interview and you talk about your brand, you tell what's going on, you get into the nitty gritty and tell us what's happening with your brand.
Yeah.
If you can go out there and showcase, you go out there.
Most of them can't. Most of them can't answer any technical question or anything like that. They're not that interested.
No, get on these shows or bring the people around you to do it together, something like that. Get out there and tell us what you're doing, versus just throwing your name on a bottle with whatever proof point, whatever it is, and slapping a price tag on it. Let me know what you're doing and be more transparent about it, and I'd be more interested to hear what you have to say.
Right. Yeah. So there you go. That could help out this. We've just helped out. We've done consulting for celebrity brands right now. We'll see if any of them pay attention, because there is a way where you could garner respect. But for the most part, there's the model out there, and it's like we said, it's one SKU, and it's low proof, and it's just, that's all that they do. So, but there could be a better way out there.
So, Steve, I'll digress just a minute.
Sure.
Back to cigars. So last week on Flavor Odyssey, it's a weekly show on Wednesday night.
Okay.
The hosts get together, and they were doing a kind of like we do when you have what do we call it when there's 8 and we're going to work it down to the winner. The
bracket challenge.
Bracket challenge. So they were doing a bracket challenge with celebrity cigars, and same type of stuff that they talked about here. There's Guy Fieri has a cigar,
right?
A line cigars, and he's intimately involved, and he's out at events. He's doing all the right things. There's a couple others. The rest are just, they slap their name on it. You never hear from them again, and the cigars are there until they sell them out. So there's just another similarity with between the bourbon
cigars and whiskey.
cigars. Yeah, it's there's a lot of people chuckle at celebrity cigars too. They're not directly involved, and so then you're just, who are you appealing to? And
Yep.
we've said it. You know, you've got some fans and they'll buy some, but if they're not good, that's
Are
about
they going
it.
to rebuy? Yeah. No, probably not.
It's a one-time sale.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Jeff, we're going to start with you. Where can people find you?
I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and the Cigar Dojo, Jeff Andreezy, 2 I's and 2 Z's.
All right. We're going to go to Kathy next.
You can find me on Instagram at KKCastStrength.
All right. Tim.
For celebrity consulting fees, you can Venmo me at SwyGuy2112. You can find me on Instagram at SwyGuy2112. And you can find me on YouTube at Our Flagship Whiskey.
All right. Goeken.
I'm on Facebook at Jim Goeken and Instagram at Jimmy Big Hands. 1 Z, no S's.
You need to thank Jeff for coming up with that little way.
Yeah, I know. I should. I should
Jimmy
give it. I get to give Jeff a shout out.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
That goes
I
over.
dare you.
That goes over well. That goes over big time. Yes. All right. Justine, how about you?
You can find me on Instagram at JA_Maze.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website. That thing's abvnetwork.com. Check it out. Everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, so much more, abvnetwork.com. Come by and see me, the ABV Barrel Shop, the place where you can try before you buy. We're online, abvbarrelshop.com. Justine, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I would like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. Also, if you like what we're doing, please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theABVNetwork.
Great job today, gang. For our audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Adios.
Bye-bye.
Peace. Before we let you go, let's talk about one last thing. The ABV Barrel Shop in the St. Louis community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on a couple of things. First of all, single barrels. We are the place where single barrels live. We go to distilleries, taste through the whiskey, select the best barrel, and have it shipped to our store where we present it to you, our customers, by allowing you to try before you buy. We're also known for the classes that we have in our education center in the store, as well as the events we have with industry professionals from the bourbon business. If you are in the St. Louis area, please come by and visit us at 6 Fox Valley Center in Arnold, Missouri. Or at a minimum, at least sign up for our email and text distribution so you know exactly what's going on in our shop over at abvbarrelshop.com. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.